Hi there, it's Professor Monty, and we are going to use completing the square to solve equations. Okay, let me show you how that works. I've written down the steps here. So essentially the steps are this. We're going to isolate the constant, whatever the constant is. I'll show you what that is. We're going to divide if needed to just get x squared. So if I have, say, 3x squared, I need to divide both sides by 3 just so that I get x squared. Then we're going to add b over 2 squared to both sides. Sounds kind of weird. And then factor into x plus b over 2 squared. If you haven't seen my video on what to add to complete the square, I'll link it at the end of that. You can refer to that, but I'll show you in the example. And then take the square root of both sides. We're using the square root property. We're going to take the square root of both sides. Remember to say plus or minus when you do that. And then we're going to solve for x. So let me show you an example of how to solve an equation by completing the square. So here's my equation. I want to isolate the constant first. So I'm going to subtract 22 from both sides. I'm going to leave a little room here. So I've got x squared minus 10x, and then over here I have negative 22. Because what I want to do is I want to figure out what to add here to make it a perfect square. And remember, here's the idea. I'm going to take whatever this number is right here. That's my b value. ax squared plus bx plus c from there. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to divide it by 2, and then I'm going to square it. So that becomes, in this case, negative 5 squared, which is 25. That's the number I'm going to add to both sides. So this is going to become x squared minus 10x plus 25. And, of course, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to both sides. But now this is going to factor. Notice if we factor two numbers and multiply to 25 and add negative 10, negative 5, and negative 5. So x minus 5, which is x minus 5 squared. Notice that was my b over 2. That's how it factors x plus b over 2, because b over 2 is negative 5. X plus b over 2 squared. That's what that refers to. So whatever the number is that you're going to square, that's how it's going to factor. And then over here it equals 3. So I've completed the square. Now I'm going to use the square root principle, where I can take the square root of each side as long as I say plus or minus. So I get x minus 5 equals plus or minus root 3. And then I'm trying to get x by itself, so I'm going to add 5. Now that's under the square root, so I can't do anything. It's just 5 plus or minus the square root of 3. Those are my two answers. If your teacher wants to write it as two answers, it would be 5 minus the square root of 3 and 5 plus the square root of 3. However they want you to write the answer is fine, but that's the method of solving an equation using completing the square.